Hello, and welcome back to Timeless Wisdom. Have you ever observed how some people seem to become happier as they age, while others become overwhelmed by stress? It might not be what you'd expect. Sometimes the key to a joyful life isn't doing more, it's doing less. In fact, embracing a bit of laziness in certain areas can actually bring more happiness and peace as you grow older. In this video, we'll dive into 5 areas where putting in less effort can actually lead to more joy and fulfillment. These insights might change the way you see your later years and help you live a life with fewer worries and more happiness. Trust me, the last point is particularly powerful. It might just be the most freeing realization you'll ever have, so be sure to stay with us until the very end. 1. Stop worrying about what others think. When you're younger, you might spend a lot of time worrying about what others think of you, trying to meet expectations, gain approval, or avoid judgment. But as you age, you realize something important. Most people are too busy thinking about their own lives to focus on yours. The more energy you put into pleasing others, the more exhausted you become. On the other hand, when you stop worrying about others' opinions, you feel a sense of peace you've never experienced before. Think about older people who live freely. They dress comfortably, speak their minds, and make decisions based on what makes them happy, not what others expect. They don't carry the weight of unnecessary expectations, and that's the freedom that comes with age. Of course, this doesn't mean being inconsiderate or ignoring loved ones' feelings. It just means recognizing that constantly trying to meet everyone's expectations is a never-ending cycle that drains your energy. Imagine living without second-guessing every choice because of what someone else might say. That's where true happiness begins. Second, stop forcing relationships. In your younger years, you might believe that maintaining relationships, whether friendships, family ties, or romantic connections, requires constant effort, even if they bring more stress than joy. You reach out, try to fix things, and hold on, even when you sense the relationship has run its course. But as you grow older, you start to see things differently. The more you force relationships that aren't meant to last, the more drained you feel. When you let go of the need to keep everyone in your life, something amazing happens. You begin to value the people who naturally stay. Instead of wasting energy on one-sided or negative relationships, you appreciate those who show up effortlessly. Think about it. The happiest older people aren't surrounded by the most people. They're surrounded by the right people. They're not wasting time on shallow friendships or forced efforts. Instead, they enjoy genuine connections with those who truly care. When you stop overextending yourself to maintain certain relationships, life feels lighter. Not all connections are meant to last forever, and that's okay. The right people will stay without you having to prove your worth. 3. Stop trying to change others. For much of your life, you might feel responsible for guiding others in the right direction, offering advice, correcting mistakes, or trying to get people to see things your way. Maybe you want your kids to make better choices, your friends to be more responsible, or your partner to change certain habits. But here's a hard truth. People don't change unless they want to. The more you push, the more resistance you face, and in the end, all that effort leaves you feeling frustrated and drained. At some point, you realize that trying to change others is like shouting into the wind. It takes energy, but doesn't get you anywhere. Once you accept this, life gets easier. You focus on what you can control, your own choices, reactions, and peace of mind. Think about the people who frustrate you the most. No matter how hard you tried to change them, nothing happened. But the moment you stop carrying that burden, you feel free. The happiest older people understand this. Everyone is on their own journey. You can't force wisdom onto someone. You can only lead by example and let people learn in their own time. 4. Stop chasing people who don't value you. There comes a time when you realize that not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Friendships fade, relationships shift, and family members grow distant. Maybe you spent years being the one who always reached out, made plans, or tried to hold everything together. But as you age, you start to see clearly. If you have to chase someone to keep them in your life, they were never truly there to begin with. In your younger years, you might believe that effort alone can hold relationships together. If you just try harder, call more, visit more, or give more, people will reciprocate. Experience teaches otherwise. The people who genuinely care about you will make an effort on their own. They'll call, check in, and show up without needing reminders. The ones who don't were already slipping away long before you noticed. When you stop chasing, you gain something invaluable: peace. You're no longer tied to one-sided relationships that drain you. Instead, you invest your energy where it truly matters, with people who choose to be in your life without being pushed. Some people will always prioritize themselves, remember you only when they need something, or take your kindness for granted. But when you stop chasing, something beautiful happens. The right people stay. Those who drift away were never yours to hold on to in the first place. 5. Stop trying to control everything. There's a special kind of freedom that comes with realizing you can't control everything. When you're younger, you might spend years trying to manage every detail: your career, your relationships, even how others see you. But as you grow older, you realize that no matter how much effort you put in, some things will always be beyond your control. And that's not a bad thing. Think about how much time and energy you waste trying to control outcomes that were never in your hands to begin with. You plan every detail of an event, only for things to go off course. You stress over the future, only to realize that worrying never changes anything. The truth is, control is an illusion. The sooner you accept that, the lighter life feels. One of the biggest lessons in aging is learning to let go. Letting go of expectations, past regrets, and the idea that you're responsible for making everything perfect. Perfection doesn't exist, and the more you try to force life into a certain shape, the more frustration you create for yourself. Some of the happiest older people you meet are also the most relaxed. They've learned to take life as it comes instead of constantly fighting against it. They don't waste energy on things they can't change, and they don't let small inconveniences ruin their day. True happiness isn't found in controlling life. It's found in embracing it. When you stop trying to control everything, you finally get to experience the joy of simply living. Final thoughts. Ultimately, happiness in later years isn't about constantly striving, doing more, or pushing yourself beyond your limits. It's about recognizing when to let go, when to slow down, and when to allow life to flow naturally. In fact, embracing moments of rest, letting go of overcommitment, worrying less, trying to impress others, seeking approval, and attempting to control everything leads to a more peaceful, fulfilling life. As time passes, we gain wisdom, and one of the most profound lessons is realizing that happiness doesn't come from adding more. It comes from removing what no longer serves us. By letting go of unnecessary stress, obligations, and unrealistic expectations, we make room for what really matters. You'll begin to appreciate the simple moments, find joy in the ordinary, and discover a deeper sense of inner peace that isn't dependent on the opinions of others. So, ask yourself, are you overcommitting out of a sense of duty? Are you worrying about things you cannot change? Are you still trying to meet the expectations of others instead of living for yourself? Maybe it's time to take a step back, breathe deeply, and give yourself the freedom to be a little lazy, at least in the areas that matter most. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom, and share. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content to inspire and inform you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.